Hey guys, welcome to Amity Tracks. We lost another one. Now Garth Hudson, I believe, is the only original member of the band that is still with us. As most of you probably know by now, Robbie Robertson. Well, I'm recording this, I think, the evening that he passed away. I'm not. We're not gonna put it up for another day or two, but yeah, Robbie Robertson of the band passed away after, from what I understand, from what the little blurb I read, um, they just said a prolonged illness, or whatever that was. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Robbie Robertson, real musical hero of mine. I mean, God, I really admire Robertson. The band is one of those groups. Well, we've done a video on the band. You can go back and watch that, where we kind of ranked the albums and talked all about it. And actually, at the end of that video, I did do a little bit kind of talking about some of Robbie Robertson's solo material post band. I want to mention that again here. Um, but yeah, the band was, they had kind of a contentious end. I know a lot of people sort of took Levon Helm's side in this. It was primarily sort of Robbie Robertson versus Levon Helm. There's a lot of dispute over who wrote what. Robbie Robertson basically got writing credit on most of their stuff. After Richard Manuel really stopped writing, and Levon Helm always made the point that we really developed those songs together. Should have more, split the writing credits. Anyway, it was kind of a nasty dispute that lasted for a long time. Now, my understanding is when Levon Helm was dying, he and Robbie got together and sort of reconciled a bit at the very end before Levon Helm left us, which is good to know. It's good to know. But anyway, talking about Robbie Robertson, I've always really admired him. I mean, obviously, an incredible songwriter with the band. Again, go back and watch our video if you want to see how I break down the band. Now, I want to talk a little bit more about his solo work, though. I really admire Robbie Robertson's solo work, in part because, after he left the band, he didn't just, I don't know, kind of like Robert Plant and, and Sting. Those are some other examples. He didn't just sort of try to recreate the sound of his famous group, right? I mean, Robbie Robertson especially made a total sonic break from the kind of Americana earthy band and his solo work, where maybe he still kind of works in some of those themes, lyrically, maybe musically. I mean, couldn't be more different. Employing a lot of synthesizers and programming and all that. You could he still have his signature guitar in there, and he Robbie Robertson was the fourth best singer, in the band, and his kind of gruff uh, vocals. But I think he, with his solo work, he really did write music that kind of fit his voice. I thought so. I love his first two solo albums. The Robbie Robertson that came out, what was that, 1987, with some pretty kind of heavy hitters, backing him up. Peter Gabriel's on here with him. U2 is on here with him. Rick Danko comes back and sings a little bit. I think Garth Hudson is on there some. So, but yeah, Fallen Angel, I think, is just gorgeous song. Broken Arrow, Hell's Half Acre is a great song about Vietnam. Somewhere Down the Crazy River, where he kind of does that sort of talk singing. Depends on who's doing that. I like it when Robbie does it. I think Robbie does a good job doing that. Anyway, it's produced by Robbie and Daniel Lanois, right? So you can already kind of tell what kind of atmospherics would be on here. This one, once I heard he had died, I pulled this out this evening. I would love to get this on vinyl. I've only seen it for like $100 or more on there, and I'm not paying that for a record. But if I could find it, if find one where the price came down a bit. I would love to have this on vinyl. But his second record, Storyville, 1991. Uh, God, I forgot how great this was. Like I said, I pulled down, listened, and again, he's got some heavy hitting help on here. Neil Young is on here. Bruce Hornsby is on here. I think the Neville brothers, several of them are on here. I think Rick Danko also reappears on here a little bit. But Robbie, it's still his vision. He's still very much in charge. It's kind of this song cycle, loosely based on New Orleans and sort of this, at least the mood. It's God, it's great. It really is. Day of Reckoning is gorgeous. Soapbox Preacher, the one he does with Neil Young, is awesome. Um, the whole thing, really. So yeah, Go Back to Your Woods. That's the one with Bruce Hornsby. That one's really good. Whole thing, though, really great song cycle. And after that, he started to really kind of explore his Native American roots and made some really interesting records. This is Robbie Robertson and the Red Road Ensemble, music for Native Americans. I think it's actually a soundtrack for some documentary which I've never seen, but the music's really interesting, real atmospheric. Contact from the Underworld of Red Boy, which is really good as well. Again, and he's made a few other ones after that. How to Be Clairvoyant, I believe, and then Cinematic. I think I hit them all. I might be missing one or two, but it's really interesting stuff. I recommend. I mean, like I said, I'm not spending a lot of time on the band because we all know about the band, and we've already done a video on here about the band. But I like I said, when I heard he passed away, I didn't go reach for the band stuff. That's kind of its own thing. I immediately went and grabbed, especially these two, his first couple of solo albums, and put those on, and they're good. They're just a great talent, incredibly creative, great songwriter, storyteller, and a huge legacy. I mean, we're kind of at that point where we're starting to lose all these guys. We've already lost a lot this year, and this is another one. So rest in peace, Robbie Robertson. I love your work. I will continue to listen to your work, honor your legacy through your work. Anyway, all right. What do you guys think? We can talk Robbie Robertson and the band in the comments if you guys want to talk about kind of your thoughts and maybe some memories if you saw him or saw the band in concert or any of that kind of stuff. All right. Well, thanks for watching. Please do subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, like the videos, all that stuff. And we will be back on Tuesday next week. We're going to dive into a huge project, the work of a major artist that I've been kind of holding back for a while, but it's time to do this guy. So that'll be exciting. Anyway, we'll talk about that on Tuesday. See you guys. Take care.